is comparable to liposuction instead of what we're suggesting, which would be like healthy exercise and diet, where you encourage population control among the community and give people an
but I don't want to hedge. I don't want to find a nice middle ground because we know that there's a nice middle ground. Like we all want the middle ground. Does anybody not want the middle ground? Okay, so fine. But I want you to say that it's never okay. That it's just not okay for the government to interfere with my uterus. But is it personal? Isn't it an impact on other people? Like, how can you argue that your right to breed is separate from government's right to protect everybody?
Okay. Government is made up of people.
And I'm sure government officials in China, they have like enough money where they can voice that.
Well, by the way, remember that government is the majority of the people. If I stab you, I'm not saying I am the government and that's why I want to take away my life and punish me to the electric chair. I'll probably say, no, I am government and I don't want me to go to the electric chair. I don't think anybody's going to volunteer to be the one that gets forcibly aborted or whatever.
I just think that population is like a direct violation to the rights that we're born with, because we're all born with being able to have kids, and we're born with certain rights, and that can't happen.
Yeah, like as a parent, if you said I'm not allowed to breed anymore, like I'm here to tell you guys, if you don't plan to have children, just drive the car off the pier right now, because really there's nothing else that's any fun in life. Everything else is basically like a drudgery of working and suffering and paying taxes and looking in the mirror as you keep putting on weight in all the wrong places. And so, like, what is life without children? Like, is that not the word death sentence?
Well, there's not like unlimited resources on Earth. And like, what if I have 10 children? What keep them from not having 10 children? Everyone else, if the government doesn't regulate it.
Well, you can kind of regulate that because then you're spending more money to do a protocol.
Yeah, it's not in your best interest necessarily.
It's in your best interest.
And also,
yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about this in a different manner.
Okay, yeah, good. Students, are you enjoying this? This is good,
yes,
right?
great.
Okay,
I'm really
now,
okay, so let's say that first of all, it's very hard to control something like population growth. There's so many factors that come into play when talking about the way a population grows. It's cultural and tons of factors. And it's a very complicated and hard thing to control. And really the only time we've really even seen any measure of like government mandated success is in China. And I believe that that's a special case because the government in China has so much power and they were able to control their population in a way that other countries really can't. So you say, okay, let's put population control in India. I don't think that the government in India has the same authority that it did in China. And even in China we have problems. They appointed government officials to look over the population goals of a certain city. And to avoid punishment, those officials would often lie about the projections because there's not much they can do about it. They can't go to every individual person and make sure they're not having.
But I'm sorry, we're not really arguing about whether or not this is viable.
Okay. Well,
I mean, you're right.
I think we should be arguing.
But do they have the right to try it?
Well, that's a weird thing to say because, I mean, aren't we talking about this in a practical sense?
Everything that we're discussing here is purely theoretical at its extremes. Practicality is going to bring us back to the middle. Quit hedging. I want to know, is there like a fundamental argument? And I don't mean just you quit hedging.
The fundamental argument is that it is more morally wrong to do something like this, and it's hard to argue that. Yeah, it's impossible to argue that.
I'm not sure.
But that's not the only argument. There are other arguments that are
Thank you, well, you're not allowed.
Well, you said it's really hard to regulate population, so you need someone with an authority that can regulate it. And Iran did it with the family planning program that as soon as it,
Iran too.
as soon as they established their family planning program, there's a direct correlation and a decrease in birth rate. And they also did, as you said, they increased the political and economic state of women, which is done by the government. And sorry about China.
Yeah, well, China's one-child policy wasn't completely a failure. Actually, 76% of the Chinese population supported it, and it actually did drastically decrease the fertility rate.
Yeah, I kind of love it when people bring up China, because I have to admit, like, it sounds so bad the way things went down.
But yeah, now they're in a good place now.
But isn't there some proof in that pudding?
They're
like, I'm so ashamed to admit that. Like, I want to apologize and find the middle ground and everything, but it's kind of work.
But the ways that they did it weren't always good.
No,
They would
sure,
absorb
there are alternatives. We're not saying that this is the only way. Hedging. No, that's not hedging.
Okay, because we're running out of time, take everything you've got left and throw it into your conclusions. Who's going to conclude last? You started?
Yeah.
So you do the first conclusion and you'll get the last word. Go, conclude. Yes, make that face.
As humans, we're born with rights to live, and we have the ability and the meaning of life basically for the whole human history has been to reproduce and to have a family and to like have that closeness and togetherness. So to take that away from people and to not have like a happy family and to be like forced to like murder your own child isn't something that we should have to live with ever, because it goes against instinct.
Human rights have been around longer than governments have. Governments are creations of populations, and they're meant to be in the best interest of everyone. So you can't really, something that was created by a population shouldn't take away something that's been long-standing far before governments have them. It just doesn't really make any logical sense.
Yeah, it is in everyone's best interest to regulate the population. That's why the government can't do it.
We're not saying that we should
Concluded.
Because and many governments have been established from ideas from the Enlightenment philosophers, and so like Paul's idea of a social contract, is you give up some rights to gain rights, and there's like we all gave up some rights that we could all be put in jail, let's say. So if I like stop Gavin, I could be put in jail. We gave up rights, but we get rights from being stopped. Right? And so Locke believed that the whole point of government was to protect your natural rights, and if the population increases, we won't have our natural rights because our resources will be depleted, and then everyone's going to have to suffer for it. And Iran is a perfect example of what can be done, because the family planning program has a direct correlation and a decrease in growth rate. And that's it.
Okay. Oh, you got something?
I was going to say, like, when we give up our rights to gain protection by the government and our natural rights, our population growth will interfere with our natural rights, and because we've established this government and all agree to not stab each other, they have to be able to control the population.
Okay, audience, what did you think about our first debate? People in the audience, vote very, very quickly. I need you to vote right away. Decide now, right this split second. FYI, how many of you argued on a position that you did not agree with? So you believe the government does have the right, and you believe the government does not have the right? Anybody else? You also were kind of on that side more? Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Did this debate change your mind, or are you still on that position?
That's more like
It's going to be more
Okay, well, good job.
Like, especially during this conclusion, like, I don't know, it kind of seems like, bigger to the loser.
the audience, give all your ballots to Naomi. Debate number 2, take the stage. And while people and papers are shuffling, does anybody have an opinion to share?
Oh, wait, I want to say something. Law and mandation is the word.
Tyler, it's Iran, by the way. Yes. Sure, you looked it up? I would have said it too. Ballot. Dame el balote. Dame un balote. Hold on, I'll give you one, Anna. Anna, is this for the last debate or for the next one? Can you guys pass these around? Take one and pass them down? Actually, no.
Linda, do you want me to count them?
Yes, please. Just sort them. Put the positive on top and the negative on bottom.
Eddie, you didn't vote.
In the second debate, I'd like to add a little background about how I see this issue. Some of you have heard a phrase, I can't quite get it right, so I'm going to wing it. Give a man a fish he eats once, teach a man to fish, and he will eat forever, something like that. This debate is sort of about that. They're saying if a person's starving, give them a fish, damn it. And they're saying if they can't figure out how to fish, I'm not going to give them any more fish.
That's a different debate.
Skip.
No, that's what you have stagnated all.
Okay. That's fine. No, that's fine. Okay. Fair enough. Will's point is a good one. Will's point is a good one. It's not exactly about whether or not we should give a man a fish or teach him how to fish, because that's more a debate about whether or not we should have any aid at all. And this topic is more, should we put conditions on our aid or not? Fair enough? Sort of like this one time when I went to the USA gas station across from Trader Joe's on Milton by the roundabout, and I was pumping gas, and some dude gets off the bus stop. He comes over to me pumping gas and goes, "Hey dude, you got any extra change?" And I'm like, "Bro, the first time I came to this area, it was called Follow Your Heart. It wasn't even Trader Joe's yet. You were still here 12 years ago asking me for change, and for every year for the last 12 years, I always use the same gas station, and I've been giving this dude change for God knows how long, and the only thing I ever see him doing is sitting around smoking cigarettes and drinking beer." And I said, I have given you help for a long, long time, and now I'm kind of tired of that. I don't want to keep giving you help, because all I see you do is something I don't approve of. Not to mischaracterize the homeless, by the way. Keep in mind that 80% or more of homeless people nationwide have suffered from mental illness. But it's that thing. Do we just keep doing it, or do we start setting conditions at some point? When do we cut people off? So, do we agree?